Check one, check two. Ready to go, Brad? Good afternoon, everybody. Great crowd, big crowd today. November 8th, big day in America. Hardrockers play Black Hill State. I'm not sure if you heard tonight in volleyball. No, it's good, though. Everybody needed to fuel up here after voting or getting ready to vote. So appreciate you coming out. Appreciate Lynch Brothers Pizza. They always do a great job for us, and their support today is sponsoring the Hardrocker Luncheon. Welcome back out. A lot of guest speakers today. And we'll start talking about the regional championships in cross country. Welcome up head coach Steve Johnson.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I, for one, am glad there's something else to watch besides election coverage tonight. So, went down to Denver, and I told you going in, the region meet is always a bit of a guessing game as to who's going to show up. 2 years ago when we were in Denver, there were 18 complete teams, and there were about 4 or 5 incomplete teams. This year, there were 28 complete teams that participated. And that really, really changes the dynamics of the meet. 2 years ago, in the same meet, we were 15th on the guys' side, 16th on the women's side. Last year, we were 17th for both. This year, we were 19th on the guys' side, 17th on the women's side, which at first glance doesn't sound like we did that well. But when you go back, you start looking at a little bit of the numbers, and especially when you realize that you went from a field of 160 last year to 190 this year, and when you go back even further, it was fields of 118 and 132. Things changed quite a bit, and the good news is that our kids stepped up and they competed pretty well. We put on the women's side, we had 4 of them run as fast as our number 3, as fast or faster than our number 3. We actually had 2 of them, Carrie and Addie, Carrie finished in the exact same place she did 2 years ago, but she was 40 seconds faster and had, again, 60 more people in the race that she had to beat. Carrie ran a really, really good race, got out strong, and just kept plugging away through the whole thing and just kept managing to pass more and more people. She was a little disappointed. We think she fell just about 3 spots outside of academic All-American qualifying. So she had to be top 70 for that. So a little bit of a disappointment in that regard, but at the same time, she moved from being in about the 73rd percentile in the field 2 years ago to in about 65th last year. She moved up into the top 50% this year. So that was a pretty good improvement. And we had a few other girls that did the same kind of thing. One of our other juniors, Riley Sutton, was 4th for us on Saturday and honestly didn't have as good a race as we thought she could. But she got out and she went from, as a freshman, she was 10th from last in the field to just missing that top 50% cut. I think she finished right at number 100 again out of 193. So to see that kind of improvement out of them was really good. Addie, unfortunately, did not make it to nationals. She was in good position through the first half of the race. It was a 2-loop course. At the mile, she was looking really confident, really strong, and unfortunately just started cramping up a little bit down her right side, and that kind of puts you in a tough position as a runner when you're trying to fight through that. And she did a noble job fighting through it, but it wasn't enough. She wound up falling all the way back to 39th, and so that put her obviously quite a bit out of contention. She would have had to finish 14th. So that was a bit of a rough one. It took about 5 of her teammates and a corgi to cheer her up. What can I say? They're suckers for dogs. They actually have a team puppy on their wish list. So we'll work. I told them we'll work on that, but No promises. Joel, can we get a team puppy? Okay. I didn't tell him that then. All right. So point-wise was a little bit tough on the women's side, too, to swallow because we were 1 point out of 16th, which would have tied our highest ever finish in a region meet as far as overall place on the scoreboard. But probably the tougher part of it was that we were 36 points out of 12th place. And so just sitting there looking at that and looking at the fact that, okay, we're really talking about if everybody just gets 2 or 3 more people, all of a sudden we jump up to about 15th. We get 4 more people. Now all of a sudden we're up to 14th, you know, and really just keep climbing just by a few people here and there, and we're literally just talking seconds. We had at the points that the ladies were finishing in the field, there were times where you had 2 to 3 people finishing within a second. So that was a tough one, but they fought hard. They did a good job representing the Hardrockers, and overall they had a great season. I mean, we did some things that we've never done before. We beat teams that we never beat before. So that was really good. On the guys' side, Jacob Huber again was our top guy. He's been a tremendous leader for us both on and off the course, and he made it along with freshman Ty Boucher. Both cracked the top 50% at the meet, which was really good. They went out, they ran the race plan exactly the way that we wanted to do it. We just didn't know what to count on field size wise, and so it didn't show quite what we could do. The thing that I think really got us point wise this time was just that our fifth runner, who's our last scoring position, was about a minute behind our fourth. We had 52 seconds from 1 to 4, which is a great pack time. If we could have gotten that fifth one in 60, we would have moved up a little bit more in the field, probably would have been about 17th or so, but that's the way it rolls. On the good side, we beat a couple of teams that we were right behind all year. We beat Colorado Christian by, what was it, Coach? It was about 40 points or so. So for a team that was sitting 10 points ahead of us at Fort Hays and 10 points ahead of us at the conference, to be able to come out and beat them by that much was really good to see out of the guys, and they raced really hard. So, you know, for having such a young squad on that guy's side, it was really nice to see them come out and compete well at the region meet and to put a good cap on the end of the season. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Great job. Congratulations this season. A lot to get to. Hardrocker women's basketball was on the road. I got that right. Hardrocker women's basketball was at Utah and at Wyoming. A couple of tough exhibition games. Welcome up head coach Ryan Larsen. Right in front. I didn't even see you.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks for everybody showing up. Great crowd here today. A lot of fun. Steve, great season. A lot of fun seeing your team progress this year and improve. Doing a great job there. Doug, good luck tonight, man. We'll get that sucker now. All right? Let's have some fun. Hit it hard. A lot of aces. Okay? Coach Tinker, I tell you what, your guys, after 2 weeks of getting your hearts absolutely ripped out and then going competing the way you guys did and down in Mesa was a lot of fun to see. It speaks volumes of your guys and your coaching staff, of what you guys are able to do down there, compete all the way to the end. Another heartbreaker, of course, but man, you guys, you've been fun to follow this year. So congrats again. Sorry you're gonna miss. We're not going to see you this weekend. Unfortunate about that, but I was just telling our table there. We tip off at 11. You know, we'll get done about 11 or 1:30, something right around there, 1, and we'll get that baby tuned in on the bus on the way home. Be cheering you on the way. But hey, great weekend. A lot of fun. Tremendous experience for our kids and our coaching staff as well. Had a fun bus ride there and back. Again, a lot of bonding going on, just spending time with each other, stuff like that. Great times. I educated the kids in the game of Uno. You know, really took it at them there. You know, not a whole lot of teaching, but a lot of winning on my part, so that was fun. Coach B may have won a game or two and I was trying to be fair to everybody. But yeah, great times. The Utah game, I tell you what, that was a really good team we played. They really improved from last year. Added a lot of depth that they didn't have. We talked about their size last week: 6'6", 6'4", and a number of guards over 6 foot tall. But it's not just their size; they're athletic too, really athletic, and do a great job. I talked last week about how fast they play and how they run in transition, and that was going to be good for us, to learn that, because we just haven't got to the point in a conversion defense where we need to be. And we were taught some lessons right away. I think they had 21 points off of transition points, and about half of that was our mistakes that we've got cleaned up now, hopefully, where we just didn't cover up and get to shooters or communicate well enough. And the other half was, I tell you what, they were just that much faster than us, and we can't do anything about it. I was talking to Julie, my wife, on the way home, and I said the best way I can describe it is, if you line up Coach Henry and I on 50-yard dash, and I finished across the finish line, he's still at the 50, and that's the best I could describe it to you right there. And nothing against our kids, but they're just faster. They're just faster. So we didn't have nothing. Couldn't do anything about it, but that's why we play those games. I tell you what, we did a heck of a job guarding them in the half court. We really did. We took away a lot of their stuff, their dribble drive. We were able to sink and fill and cover up on their big post player a lot for some dump down passes. I was really pleased there defensively in the half court. Offensively, that's a tough game for us. It is. We play through so much through our post players that Megan, tough to score down there. Missy, tough to score down there. It wasn't like going against us in practice where we could make our post moves. They're just so big and strong and physical that we couldn't really establish a post game. But we did some good things in the half court offensively, and we were able to get out and run on them as well. I think we had about 6 or 8 points in transition ourselves, which was nice. But tremendous experience. Utah is a first-class athletic department there. Treated us really, really well. It was 11 o'clock tip-off, and it was their elementary school day, so they had about 3,000 elementary kids there. And I was talking to their coaching staff before the game. I said, this might be the most well-attended away game we play all year. And those little kids were into it, man. They were having a ball. It was fun. And so great experience there. Again, very appreciative of Utah of having us out there. Again, first-class program and athletic department. Just a great experience for everybody. And then got back on the bus and went to Laramie and played Wyoming. Played a really good game. The game was tied with about 6.5 minutes to go. We had a slow start, had to call a quick timeout and make some adjustments, remind them of the stuff that we practiced and shoot around. And once we got that settled down, we were able to get a flow offensively and defensively. And it was a fun and exciting game. Again, a nice crowd there on hand in Laramie. Just a back and forth battle. I think I talked about last week, the contrast of teams that were playing where, why Utah is so fast, and Wyoming, they're not nearly as fast, but they're just going to grind you out in the half court. And we had them confused a lot of the game as far as the way we were guarding them, and they couldn't find a lot of their scoring opportunities. So that was a big plus in my eyes as far as the way we guarded in the half court, because that Coach Legursky runs about as good as a motion offense as I've seen. It is really hard to guard. So credit to our kids. They're really locking in there in the game plan. Coach B had that scout and absolutely had them pegged as far as their offensive tendencies and defense and stuff like that. So it was fun. Tied, and man, they just kind of overpowered us a little bit in the last half of the fourth quarter, where they got some offensive rebounds. Again, bigger, stronger athletes. They kind of powered through us and got some cheap ones that way. But like I told the team after the game, we play back-to-back all year long. All right, and it doesn't matter who you're playing, Utah, Wyoming. You got to find ways to win. So as happy as I was with our performance at Wyoming, man, if we would have made some free throws and got some rebounds, that game could have been really, really interesting. It would have been fun. But again, just a great experience, a great way for us to get better. And we did, and that's the goal of that entire trip, to get better at everything we do, and we saw some great strides. And we were able to watch both game films or clips of them yesterday, and it was a good eye-opener for those our kids as well, to continue to see what we need to improve on. We had some really good individual performances. I really got to talk about Marissa Herkett. Wow, great job, both games. She stood toe-to-toe with some Pac-12 post players and Mountain West post players and did a fantastic job. She has really, really come on this year. Worked really hard in the weight room over the summer, getting stronger. She can still get a little stronger. She got a long ways to go there. She knows that, but she's only a sophomore, so that's exciting. She did a great job defensively for us, and that's a big bright spot for us. A couple of our freshmen, played well. Molly McCabe was our leading rebounder at Utah, and again, as big as they were, you guys will see her in the future. She just kind of goes up and gets them. She's not real tall, but she's very athletic, and she got up and got some big-time rebounds. So that was fun, and she scored on the block at Wyoming as well. And then Sammy Stefik, another freshman, led us in scoring at Utah. Did a good job for us. So really good individual performances by a lot of kids, but team-wise, it was great to get better. Got on the road again, starting Thursday morning, getting on the bus, 5 a.m., heading down to eastern New Mexico, Portales, New Mexico. A couple quality opponents, conference challenge. With these conference challenges, Coach Henry's in one as well. They're going to help you. You're playing opponents that are in your region, just from different conferences. So as the year goes along and the regional rankings start to come out, these games really help you as far as the regional rankings go. So it'll be exciting. We got two quality opponents. Don't know a whole lot about them right now. They've played some exhibitions. That's about it. So we're going off of tendencies from last year and box scores from their exhibition games. But just like any other game, it doesn't matter if it's early in the season, late in the season. It's all about what you do. And so that's what we're focused on right now, is just getting better at what we do offensively and defensively. But looking forward to the challenge. Looking forward for the bus ride again. Believe it or not, it's early in the year, so we better be excited for the bus ride, okay? We might get a little tired of it come February, March, but it's early, so we're excited. Any questions for me? Last weekend, this weekend coming up? Coach Tinker.
Based on this weekend and the success you had in the Wyoming game, does that mean we'll play a little bit more of a half-court style of play, or is it going to be a high-ice?
It was funny. That's a great question. I told our kids, I want to be Utah in the full court and Wyoming in the half court. That's what I want to be. And that's kind of the way I've always tried to play. If we turn one over defensively, my term is we want to be sharks in bloody water and just sprint and get down the court and score some easy baskets. But if we don't have anything in the full court, we'll pull it out and we'll grind you out in the half court and work for a really good shot. But I want to do both. And it can be done. And I think we're starting to see that a little bit, especially. That's why I said that both those games are so good for us, both offensively and defensively, of who we want to be in the future. But I want to be both. I want to get possessions. I want to get up and down and get possessions. But we'll work it out in that half court as well and work for a really good shot. Anybody else? All right, I'm trying something new, and I'll keep this quick. But last week at luncheon, I was humbled by how many people sent me texts and emails of, boy, great job seeing you up at luncheon again. Excited to have you back up there, all this stuff. And so what I'm going to do from here on out is I'm going to do a Hardrocker Luncheon shout-out, all right? My first shout-out goes to our fans down in Orlando, Florida. Yeah, Orlando. So shout out to, he's actually my high school roommate, Joel Scheid, and his family down there. He's got Hardrocker gear, and he actually tunes in over his lunch hour at his desk job down in Orlando. I don't know if it says how much fun he's having that job or if he just likes me that much. But Hardrocker Luncheon shout out to the Scheid family down in Orlando, Florida. Thanks, guys, for coming out. Look forward to next week. Take care.
We're learning a lot about Larsen and Henry's relationship outside the lines here. golf game last week, just getting hammered, and now a 50-yard sprint. Coach, you did a nice job out at South Dakota State, though. The Hardrocker men were at South Dakota State, hung in there tight, even late into the second half. Welcome up head coach Jason Henry.
Shots fired, huh? All right. I'm going to take the high road today because we get 15-minute slot between the two men's basketball, and we're on 14 minutes right now, so I won't say much about him today. As far as our games go, we played 2 games this weekend. We had a closed door, open door scrimmage or whatever that we didn't tell many people about the second day, but the first day with our exhibition game out at South Dakota State, played pretty well. We knocked down some shots, kind of a different look. You talk about high octane, and Coach Tinker is going to be the happiest guy alive to come to our games this year because we can shoot the ball. And I don't know how many times that we got done with it, and he's in my office the next day, and going over a game plan for what we're going to do the next week. And all I hear Tinker, all he says is, "Will you guys please shoot more threes?" And that's all. That's his coaching from A to Z. It feels like, and well, we're going to take care of that this year. I promise you. All right. So we had 73 attempts this year, or in that game. Typically we're 60 and below kind of thing, so we had a number of so-called other opportunities, extra opportunities, whether it's from offensive rebounding. We rebounded it pretty well, turned them over 20 times, 14 times in the first half, which we're not, on the line, up the line defending team and stuff, but just under control and take advantage of some opportunities there. So we got some more opportunities on the offensive side, and I can see that being a pretty big deal for us this year. Not so much grinding it out, even though our post guys still got Connor Koulis back, an all-conference kid for us. He's got to get plenty of touches, basically touch the ball every possession. But we're not just solely counting on him and expecting him to get 20 points a game. We got guys around him this year, so we're excited about that. That being said, honestly, he makes a couple more of his bunnies. I think he goes like 3 for 13 against them, and he had some great looks and got himself in some perfect situations, and the thing just didn't go in. So a couple of those shots go in. It's honestly like Ryan was talking about against Wyoming. It's probably a different game even down the stretch. They go on a 17-3 run, which didn't help. But you start putting that pressure on them and getting some good leads like we had in the first half. It could be a different game down the stretch. But we're excited about our guys. We played most of the guys in that game, got to see some different things. We use it not just to go win the game. We use it to evaluate a lot of our guys. The next night, the biggest thing was, or the next day, we turned around and played at noon the next day. And the biggest thing that I wanted to get out of that was just the simple fact that we play back-to-back games and to turn around and see how they were mentally. I knew they could handle it physically. Most of the guys didn't play over 30 minutes. We spread it out pretty good again in that exhibition game. But to turn around, get on the bus, drive 2.5 hours the next morning, and then to get up and play, and we played extremely well. We shot over 60% in that game. Went to the foul line a lot more the game before. Whether it was us and the officiating or them, how they play, whatever the case is, against South Dakota State, they shot 33 free throws to our 10. So obviously you're not going to win very many games when you're on the road doing that. And a part of it was us. We didn't get to the basket as much as we needed to. We talked about it. We did it the next day. So great weekend for us. We're excited moving forward. We do go down to Texas this weekend. We have 2 opportunities. Once again, like Coach Larsen talked about a little bit as far as being in conference or in region play, conference challenge. Us and Black Hills are heading down there to play Texas International, A&M International, and A&M Kingsville. So be a great trip for us. A lot of the chemistry side of it that I like, long trips right now too, the bus rides and those kind of things, the van rides when we're down there. That kind of stuff is important in the process as well when you're building a team and those kind of things. So I like, honestly, being on the road early season. It's great for us, but then mid-season and late, I love being at home, trust me. So it's kind of nice, especially those bus trips. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it as far as guys that are playing well right now. We're having some meetings and things as far as red shirts, guys that are going to be playing. I'm just extremely excited about our freshmen. I can't be more happy with them. The progress that they've made. A lot of times it comes in, we have 7 freshmen this year and 6 of them are new. And typically they're heads are just scrambled right now. You know, there's all new drills, all new philosophies, coaches, you know, yelling at them. They're getting their butts kicked in the school, all those kind of things, and their heads just spinning. And for whatever reason, we have 3-4 of those guys that are, I would never be able to tell that they're freshmen. And to be able to say that and to be able to, you know, keep building on what we are instead of just figuring out a drill is going to go a long ways this year. There's no question about it, with them either helping out, being a good practice player, or them helping out being on the floor. So I'm excited about our freshmen. They did well again this last weekend. In fact, the second game that we played, he gets done talking, and he's got one freshman that he's going to have to count on a little bit and play about 10 minutes a game. And I had to bite my lip because he was kind of going, oh, gosh, I got to count on that kid. And I didn't have the courage to explain to him that for 15 minutes of the 40 minutes, we had 5 freshmen on the floor at the same time playing against his team. So, you know, if I would have said that to him, his jaw would have dropped and he probably would have fell over. But I'm extremely excited about him. And that being said, we're still counting and leaning on our seniors. We got 6 seniors and have pretty high expectations for them. So I don't know if that was good, 3 minutes, but I'll get questions answered. Anything good, bad, or otherwise? Any questions about? Yes?
Did we see you and Larsen out at the track practice tomorrow night?
You know what? I would talk about that, but honestly, he's probably right. I am about 20 pounds overweight right now, and the way I just ate this pizza and that kind of stuff, and the guy doesn't have a belt that goes, you know, skinny enough for him to hold up his pants. So he's probably right. He would kick my butt to 50. But what else? Anything else? All right. Good luck. Congratulations to Steve, and good luck tonight, Doug. Good luck, Tink. I got to watch your game again and stuff too, and just keep them plugging away for both you guys, and good luck. But yeah, anything else? All right. Thank you.
Don't worry about that, Coach. It's okay. I mean, many people don't know this. Ryan Larsen comes in yesterday, no cavities in his life. Okay, I mean, and he's proud of it. That's a great accomplishment. And I said, how do you do that? Well, I've just never eaten candy. I just never eat candy. And I said, you must have a boring life, brother, I'm telling you. Hardrocker volleyball starts at 7 tonight. The polls close at 7, and then the rivalry match starts. Black Hill State pays us a visit tonight. Welcome up head coach Doug Tabbert.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks for coming out, everybody. It's a good crowd, and always good to have people here. So, give you a quick recap of this past weekend. And Ryan, by the way, when you go to Portales, there's a little cafe, pretty good place to eat. It's one of about 3 options you got in the whole town, so you kind of got to choose wisely there. So it's a pretty rocking city. We were at Chadron State on Friday night. Kind of one of those matches where we felt pretty good about how we played for the most part, and yet we still kind of felt like an opportunity got away from us. Led the first set most of the way. They took a lead late. Their best hitter made 2 hitting errors in a row, and suddenly we were back tied or maybe up a point late in the match. And we got a freshman on the serving line, and she misses her serve. And it's one of those times where if you had something to throw and you could get away with it, you might have chucked something at her just out of frustration, because you just can't miss that serve. And they ended up taking the set. We came back, trailed by a slight margin most of the second set, came back and won it at the end. I think it was 28-26. So kind of righted the ship and got back into it and played pretty well. So it's kind of those where we're thinking, okay, we're 1-1 on the road. We can't complain, but we probably should be up 2-0 on the road. Third set, pretty competitive, pretty close. And then the fourth set got away a little bit, but we played pretty well. It was one of those matches where you're going, there's just maybe 2 or 3 rallies in a given set that probably made the difference. It wasn't 9 or 10. It was 2 or 3. You made a couple more plays that you might turn it. But we played pretty decent. And then Saturday we go to Regis, and we knew we were getting into a tough deal there because Frank Lavrisha, their longtime coach, is his 30th season. He's retiring this year. They announced it early this year. It was their last home match. It was their senior night. They had 6 of them. It was his retirement kind of celebration thing. So we knew we were going to have a motivated team that we were going to be playing, and they were going to be very invested in the match. And they're very talented. They've got some very good players, and again, they're kind of senior laden. Didn't get off to a very good start. They kind of took it to us pretty good in the first set, and we just completely flipped it in the second. Got off to a lead, led most of the set, played really well, and I mean, it was complete. It was night and day. And then they kind of went on a little run at the end and got us, but we were playing pretty well. In the third set, we're trailing most of the way, but we're playing well and competing well. And he still got their starters in. They're still playing seniors, and it was the same lineup we played against early on. And we're down 18-22, and we come back and win, I think, 25-23. Just really showed a lot of character, and really proud how our kids played. And it was really good volleyball, and again, they're good. They're a good team, and it wasn't them kind of kicking it around. We just played really well, and so it was really exciting. We had a lot of fans there. We've had a lot of people travel with us this year, and so it was a great atmosphere, and it was a really fun match to be a part of. And in the fourth set, they kind of turned their seniors, which I kind of thought they'd do. I told our kids that, okay, 7's going to get it, 5's going to get it, and that's their two best players, and they did, and they kind of pulled away a little bit at the end of the fourth, but a really good match for us. It wasn't a win, but the quality of play for us was really pretty high for us, and probably the best we'd played in about a month. And again, showed a lot of character, and so really proud of that. Kind of it put it in perspective when one of our parents came up after the match and said, and I looked out at one point, and they got 5 seniors on the floor, and you got 5 freshmen on the floor. So that's a little bit of an uphill challenge for us, but we played well again, and felt good about how we handled ourselves. And we'll have got a few clips here in a second, highlight from that match. As far as this week, we got UCCS on Saturday. That's our last match of the year on 7, and then tonight with BH. Obviously, a very big match for them and for us. The records don't really matter in this situation. They want to win, we want to win. Now, if we feel like we're in a pretty good place, pretty good practice yesterday. We're pretty loose. We were pretty loose over the weekend. We just had a walkthrough right before I came in here, and pretty loose in the walkthrough. So I have no idea how we're going to play. I mean, you'd like to think you're going to play well, but you never can tell. But we're in a pretty good place, I think, mentally. I think keys for the match, they're a really good blocking team, and they're not always real potent offensively, but they block really well and they defend really well. We're kind of the opposite. Offensively, we've been playing pretty well lately, putting up some pretty good numbers in some places, and we don't block real well. So it's kind of strength versus strength and weakness versus weakness at times. And I think they've got 3 seniors that play a ton for them, and we just kind of hope that they don't sort of come in and take the match over a little bit, which sometimes will happen with seniors. So it should be a great match, and I think we're again in a pretty good place, and hopefully we'll take care of business. A couple of highlights over the weekend against Shadron. Anna Bright hit over 400, which is really good. Emily Newton, who we really didn't think was playing that well in the match, at the end she hit over 300. Anna hit 360 against Regis. Karin Hazard, who's our freshman outside from Sioux Falls, was phenomenal in serve receive on Friday, and played pretty well, a pretty complete match on Saturday. So we're still making progress. We've got some people that are growing into their roles, and we just hope that we handle the situation tonight as well as we can, and if we do, we'll feel pretty good. Brad's got some clips. I don't know the order here. You're going to see Emily Newton hit 2 overpasses, Anna hits an overpass, Karin hits an overpass, Anna makes a really nice kill on a slide, and then there's 2 rallies in succession when we were coming back on Regis in the third set on Saturday that were pretty fun points. So I think there's some semblance of that in this little clip here. Okay, well I don't remember the one. So this is Saturday against Regis. We're on the near side. Emily Newton there with one of her kills on the overpass. And that's Anna Bright with her version of it. And I think Emily comes back and gets another one here in a second. Big swing by Anna there on the slide. And that's Liz Jensen, our sophomore setter, just wouldn't be denied. She's going to keep setting it over there, so she's got a kill. And that's Emily again on another overpass. Those are always nice when you get those. And that's Karin, our freshman. Same deal. I think we got coming up is 2 rallies again at when we were down 18-22 and coming back. That's Kenzie DeVries, excuse me. That's one of our other freshman outsides. Forgot that was in there. You know, Regis played well. That kind of gives you an idea how hard we had to play to compete with them because they were playing well. They were really good defensively. So, and that was when we were making the run in the 3rd set. So, and I think that's it. So, you know, we feel good about how we played this weekend. We just hope we can bring it tonight. And we feel like if we can play as well as we played on Saturday tonight, we got a really good shot. And so hopefully we'll get a nice crowd. We appreciate all the support we've gotten over the course of the season and people hanging with us, and look forward to tonight. So, questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck tonight. I don't know about you. The football season has flown by for me. I'll tell you what, last game of the year already coming up this Saturday. Welcome up head coach Zach Tinker.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks everybody for showing up. What a great crowd. I know everybody's anxious to get on the road again, but I heard Black Hill State was coming to town tonight. You know, I thought they were just going to try to come over and see the Homestake Trophy that they haven't seen in a while, but we got a volleyball match to win tonight, so excited for that. I know our kids are very excited to show up, and they're going to be on their best behavior, but they're going to be enthusiastic, bring a lot of juice to the gym tonight. We were down at Colorado Mesa for an outstanding RMAC fight once again. It was just a battle from the get-go. Our players played extremely hard, as really has become our signature as a program. Led by a senior class that just has a ton of resolve and resiliency, and we came up short. We played as hard as we could play. We didn't play as well as we could play, as hard as we could play, but ended up with an opportunity to take the lead in the 4th quarter and had an unfortunate turn of events. A blocked field goal return for a touchdown that would have been the go-ahead field goal there with about 3 minutes left. And then we weren't able to make another play to get right back into the game like we believed we would. So ton of resilience by our team. I think defensively about as well as we've played in several weeks. We played so hard on defense against an offense that has been playing very, very well for Colorado Mesa. And they were able to win the RMAC championship with that win, so it was a good lesson for our players to be on the field when the other team is getting their T-shirts handed to them for winning the conference championship.
and knowing that where you were and where you are and where you're going as a program. Although that's not a pleasant experience, it's one that I know is going to be imprinted on our team for the future, and I think it's something that we can grow on and build from, because I know that we have a great belief and confidence in ourselves and our program that we could be in that position someday, and that's certainly the ultimate goal. We did not go down there to play a close game. We did not go to Colorado Mesa to keep it close. We did not want to acquit ourselves well. We had one purpose. We went there to win, and we're disappointed that we didn't win, but we're ready to play this next one. We got a great chance to honor our senior class here this coming Saturday, and we're going to do that against Western State Colorado in what's going to be, I promise you, another physical, tough, hard-nosed RMAC conference football game. That's how we play, and that's what we do. So I know we've got some individual accomplishments and then some highlights from the game as well that we're going to go through. We're going to go straight to the highlights first. Yep, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go video first, Brad, so thank you for doing that. This is the very first drive of the game. I thought this was critical. This is Robbie Joe Girardin's 46-yard field goal, his longest of the season. It was a little wet, and it was kind of Seattle-ish weather out there in Colorado for us, which we were right at home. Robbie's from Seattle, and he banged home that 46-yard field goal. It was a huge play to start the game and get us some mojo. We did an outstanding job. Here it is, hitting the quarterback again, and we did such a great job with that on Saturday. It was a big sack. This is Connor Silvera on the touchdown run. Connor had a couple touchdown runs on the day. He ran for 170 yards. So here he is getting the handoff from Evan Sanders and punching it into the end zone. We really ran the ball very efficiently on Saturday. We threw the ball efficiently on Saturday as well, and he was a big part of it. Here we go again. I know it almost looks like the exact same thing. It's just a little bit higher angle. They have about 19 camera angles at Colorado Mesa. I don't know where they get all the cameras, but good for them. This is the play of the game on defense. Alex Klatt with the sack and the fumble, and Chris Counts with the recovery. He jumped on that thing like it was about to explode. So here comes Alex off the edge. A huge play, ton of momentum, ton of juice. I mean, certainly caused we knocked the wind out of the quarterback. Fortunately, he was okay to continue, but what a play right there. What a call by Coach Breitzman. He said he was going to blitz this guy and make him pay, and that's what that looks like. What a play, and a ton of juice on the sideline from that one. Here we are again, just running the ball again extremely efficiently. I know that looks easy, but you got to block 11 other dudes to make this happen. This is as well as you can block this play, our little power play. And we punch it into the end zone here with Connor. Here's the third angle of it, but that was another great drive. I thought our O-line really ran the ball with great efficiency, and Connor ran extremely hard, extremely hard. Here's a great play by Evan Sanders, and you know Evan, what a job he's done in relief. I say relief, but since Jake's injury, he's just been awesome. This is an audible by him. This is what a fifth-year senior does. He just looks around, makes a decision, and decides to he calls this route on his own and finds Isaiah Manley in the end zone for the touchdown. Isaiah Manley had 2 touchdowns. He was ridiculous on Saturday. But that's what having a fifth-year player looks like. He goes up to the line of scrimmage and says, I have a plan, and I'm going to go execute that plan, and he executes it. So what an effort by those guys. And with all that, still not quite enough to put us over the top, but a tremendous effort by a bunch of guys. It is Senior Day this coming Saturday. And Senior Day is a special day, and we honor our seniors, those 20 men that have really formed the foundation of this program. And we could not be more proud of those young men and their accomplishments. There's most of them right there. Mine is Darren Weber, who was out of town that specific day. But what an awesome group. You see them pictured there with a homestake trophy. Every single player in this program that is playing their final game has a winning record against Black Hills State, something we're very, very proud of as we walk out to Dunham Field on Saturday at 1 o'clock. We do have players of the game from last week. The service players of the week: Carson Hunt's a civil engineer out of Colorado. Blaine Smith is a civil engineer out of North Dakota. These 2 guys are going to be really, really good players for us in the future. And Carson actually came down to the game and showed great support for his team on Saturday, even though he wasn't on the travel roster, which I think is just a really cool, that's true service right there. Next up is our SWAT, or Special Teams Player of the Week. It's number 4, Rashad Ridley. He had another electrifying kickoff return at a critical moment on Saturday. Nearly took it all the way to the house, and then nearly blocked a couple of field goal attempts on Saturday that could have really changed the game. They have an outstanding field goal kicker, and Rashad gave tremendous effort, almost had it, but a bunch of big plays on special teams. But he has really done that since week 1 for our program. And it's your last chance to see number 4 do something crazy, and I promise you Saturday he'll do something crazy. It'll be electrifying. Just don't blink when he's got the ball. The high-octane offensive player of the week was Isaiah Manley. Again, he had the 2 touchdown receptions, 160-some-odd yards, I believe, receiving. He has just grown as a player. He's just a junior. He'll be back next year. Has had a fantastic season, and you're going to get to see him do all kinds of new stuff here this coming Saturday. Our perseverance was our theme of the week, and Connor Silvera is our perseverance player of the week on offense. Electrical engineer out of Redding, California, ran for over 160. I think it was 170 against, again, the RMAC champion defense. I thought his effort was fantastic. And, again, he was doing that thing on kickoff where he goes down and hits people with bad intentions. It was really fun to watch. Our defensive perseverance player of the week is Michael Harlan, number 18. An electrical engineer out of Scottsdale, Arizona. The heart and soul of our defensive line is Will V, number 55, and he dislocated his elbow on the second play of the football game. And that took a ton of juice out of our football program, and you see your best guy down there, and that can really affect your juice. And I could not be more proud of the way our team rallied. Sometimes when the leader goes down, you see the team fall apart, but I think that's a reflection of Williams' leadership, Will V's leadership, that he did go down, but his spirit was with his football team, and Michael played with that spirit for the rest of the afternoon. Our Rocker Dog player of the week on defense, 52, Chris Counts, industrial engineer out of Scottsdale, Arizona. He is Mr. Reliable. If you need him to be someplace, if you're in a foxhole, you want him with you. What a competitor, and he had a great game on Saturday. And then I think we just have one more picture of those senior class for you, so you get an idea of the guys that will be representing the senior class for the final time. Some very, very accomplished players. We didn't get a chance to talk about it last week, but Marcus Sanchez did set the new record for career touchdown receptions, number 19. Marcus, what a fine career. The 2 quarterbacks, Evan and Ben, guys who have been here for 5 years. So it'll be a very emotional day for those young men. We're going to honor those players, and then we're going to go play a football game and give Western State everything they can handle. Western State brings in the premier running back in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference in Austin Eckler. He's a really special player. I mean, he's exciting. He's a little too exciting for me, quite frankly. I'd like him to be a little less exciting on Saturday. He's coming off of an injury. We hope he's able to play. Certainly our men want to be able to play against the very, very best that the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference has to offer. And number 31 for Western State is the very, very best the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference has to offer. So we're anxious to see him on Saturday. It'll be a feature matchup. And then they have one of the really fine defenses in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. They held Pueblo to just 13 points a couple weeks ago, and is a very strong defensive unit. So we are excited for the challenge. We're anxious for it. We cannot wait to go compete again on Saturday and get this 6th win and get a winning season for Hardrocker Nation. Any questions from the group? Yeah.
Do they run between tackles or is that outside?
Yeah, the question of where does number 31 run, unfortunately I can't give you a clear answer on that. He's all over the place. Yeah, they throw it to him. He's inside. He's outside. He's a trifecta in and of himself. He's a 3-dimensional back, a receiver, an inside runner, and an outside runner. He's a lot of fun to watch. Hopefully we won't have to watch him do too much. We'll tackle him when he's out there, and that's the plan. But he's a special player. Yeah, exciting player to watch.
They were talking in the game announcers that CSU Pueblo lost their conference championship to Larsen.
Yeah, the questions about Colorado State Pueblo did, in fact, lose the conference championship from 2015 due to a compliance and administrative error where they inadvertently played 2 players that were not eligible to participate in NCAA competition, and so they did have to give up their conference championship from 2015. Sad deal for everybody involved, obviously. Inadvertent error, but you can't have inadvertent errors in that role. So tough situation for everybody involved. Feel for everybody because certainly that's not the way Colorado Mesa wanted to win the 15 RMAC championship. So, but yes. So we're working on making sure that never happens here. All right, rock on, everybody.
All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. See you tonight. King Center, 7 o'clock, Hardrocker Volleyball. See you this weekend. It's Salute to Services game, so Veterans Day Friday, we're going to have active duty military veterans, first responders getting in free. On Saturday, we're going to honor our alumni, honor our seniors on Saturday at 1 o'clock as well. Have a great week, everybody. See you.